was winning when the prize money was a lot lower. The prize money has been increasing every year, and Djokovic is the younger one, so his wins have earned him more money than Roger's wins used to.
Yeah, but Djokovic was also the first player to break 100 million.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
He snuck in right at the last minute. Roger was sitting at a mere 98 million.
Oh, poor Roger.
Poor Roger. Yeah.
But I gather Roger's made up for that with his sponsorships and everything else on the outside,
yes.
wouldn't he? I'd love to know what that figure came to.
Well, even the exhibitions. I mean, the one in Mexico City that had 42,000 people. The one that's coming up in South Africa with Rafa, the stadium to seats 53,000. So, oh gosh, yeah.
This is AO Radio's Twilight Show. AO Radio's Twilight Show. Richard Evans, Craig Gabriel and Bridget Duclos coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia on a very, very hot night. And what a night we have tonight. Well, I hope what a night we have tonight. Lots of talk around this match, of course, the first semi-final between Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. Roger requested a closed court practice session today, which got the tongues wagging. Is that an unusual thing for him to do?
Unusual, but not unprecedented. For various reasons, he might want, people not looking.
Is that because of an injury, perhaps?
Well, yes, he had this groin problem, not necessarily an injury, but a tightening of the groin muscles. And it was interesting because rumours were flying, and Tennis Australia felt it necessary to put out a statement saying he will play this evening because obviously, some people might not have come. And we're going to see, there are also rumours that maybe Novak Djokovic, who had an eye problem or he had to take out his contact lenses or something, but some people think that wasn't the real reason, that he was actually feeling his side and had a strain. There are queries against both of them as to whether they are whether they're 100% fit. They may be. We're about to find out. And if they are, Djokovic is a huge favourite, but...
Yeah, but can you imagine? Just think about... Both these players are on court. They're feeling each other out. Is he going to quit first? Or is he going to quit first? Shall I hang on a little bit longer?
Well, this is what I'm interested in because we know Roger doesn't quit. We know that, don't we? We've learnt that he...
And Novak doesn't quit anymore either.
Not anymore. He used to.
Used to. Okay, so with Roger, what risk would he take if he wasn't feeling... Like, say he gets into the first set and he's feeling something's not right. Would he continue on?
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. I mean, it's, he can take 3 months off again after this if he wants to. He's after Grand Slams. He's going to put everything out there, and he's not going to quit, I don't think, unless something really bad happens.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be absolutely extraordinary. I don't remember when or if Federer has actually retired from a match.
No, he hasn't apparently. No. Never has.
No. Never has.
It's interesting. The groin. Tell us about that injury for a tennis player. Is that one that
it's just when you stretch. You feel a tightness in the muscle.
How badly can it affect your game?
A lot.
Hell of a lot. And Federer was also saying he didn't know how it actually developed because he thought maybe, physically he was tight because of nerves. He said it could have happened because of that. He's not even sure himself.
Well, Craig, we spoke after the Melbourne game and you said, everyone's carrying on that he, and you were right. He did come back and show that he could, because most people didn't think he'd be able to come back after two.
Right.
How will this one have affected him, though, this last match against Sangren?
Impossible to tell, but he's a light mover. Rafa's the opposite. He's a heavy mover. An earth player. I called Rafa an earth player and Roger an air player, which sort of sums up the amount of stress and pounding they take from a hard court. Roger, if he's feeling good, all bets are off when Roger Federer plays Novak Djokovic. It's... Novak Djokovic just walking on court or walking towards the court.
So we know he's turned up.
He's turned up.
Now we've just got to wait for Roger.
They get into each other's heads. They played a million times, and it's always going to be fascinating. It could be that Djokovic will win in straight sets, but I've got a feeling that it won't be. I was talking to Thomas Johansson, the former champion, and he was just so impressed. He said what impressed me more than him saving 7 match points was coming back from 4 points to 8 points down in the 10-point tiebreaker against John Millman. Because, as Thomas said, Millman did nothing wrong. He was playing good tennis. He didn't make any terrible errors in those 6 consecutive points that Roger Federer won. And that was an amazing achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree. I think the difference, though, this is Novak.
Oh, of course.
And not having a go at the other guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic
We're at
players.
another level now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just also think that Novak is geared up. Yeah.
Well, Novak hasn't lost to Federer in a major since 2012, which it seems an extraordinary.
And it really does seem extraordinary. It was Wimbledon 2012.
Yeah.
But if you also look, on the breakdown, they've played 5 times at the Australian. It's 4-1 to Novak. And from my observation, the only time that Roger won over here against Novak was 2007 in the round of 16.
And Novak's never lost a semi-final in the Australian Open.
Roger has had match points against Novak in 3 Grand Slam finals.
Last
and
year.
Wouldn't the record books look different if he'd won those 3? 2 of them, Novak just teed off on forehand service returns at Flushing Meadows, and the ball could have gone in, it could have gone out. But both times it hit the line. And again at Wimbledon, he just went for it. And Roger couldn't close it out, but it could get close again.
Novak, he will always know, won't he, the respect he has for Roger. He knows that nothing can be taken for granted. And this is what he said when he found out that he would, of course, be playing Roger Federer.
But I know that whenever we get a chance to play each other, we understand that it takes a big effort and it's required from us to come up with the best game in order to win against each other. I mean, Wimbledon last year, he had 2 match points. He was 1 shot away from winning that match. So it's not like I've been dominating, the matchups. I mean, I've had success against him, as you said, in Grand Slams in particularly. But, Roger is Roger. I mean, he that he's always going to play on such a high level. I mean, regardless of the surface, and he loves to play this kind of matches, big rivalries, semis, finals of Grand Slams. I mean, he's probably going to confirm that that's probably the biggest reason why he's still competing. To be able to compete at the Grand Slams against best players in the world, and what he did today was really amazing. I mean, to come back and save 7 match points and at his age, I mean, he's still, playing such a great tennis and proving.
Yeah, so lots of respect and knowledge that Federer could still pull one out of the hat, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the question is, we know the crowd can get under Novak's skin. He can get a little bit irritated by the love for Roger in the air. What does Roger have to do to win?
He's got to play like Roger Federer.
Get the crowd on his side straight away.
Yeah, he'll have the crowd on his side. He's got to serve well. He's got to come up with the big serves when he gets into trouble, which he does frequently. His movement has got to be good. If he is worried by this injury or strain or whatever you want to call it from the previous match, and his movement is impaired, he's in big trouble. But if he can move properly, he can always worry Djokovic.
Yep. Well, we sent out our young AO radio assistant, Christian, a mentor, and he asked the fans who they're predicting.
Novak, definitely. Roger's injured.
Djokovic all day.
Hopefully Roger Federer in 4 sets.
Definitely Federer. I think he's a great player. He's been playing for years and he's just got so much more experience.
Maybe Djokovic.
Who do I want to win? Of course, Roger. I mean, I love to watch him. Who doesn't? I'll go with my heart, and I think he'll pull it out.
Definitely Djokovic, and I'm a huge Federer fan, but Djokovic is on fire.
I really like Novak Djokovic. I visited ATP tournament. I was admired their team, how they love their fans.
Federer, he showed us in the quarterfinal that he's got that fight in him.
Yeah, it might just be too much for Novak.
I think Djokovic will win, especially if Federer's having a bit of an injury. And Djokovic, he's playing too well. I think he's going to win the whole thing.
I'm a Djokovic fan. I like Federer, but I don't think he can beat Djokovic tonight.
All right, that's what the people are saying. I'm going to ask you two, who's going to win tonight?
Look, nothing against Novak. I'd love to see Roger win, but I think Novak will. Yeah.
Yes, Novak is a big favourite, but he's playing Roger Federer, so, who knows? But I hope it's a close match. I think we're going to see some great tennis, and good luck to both.
Thank you, Richard and Craig. This has been AO Radio's Twilight Show.
Live around the grounds on 99.7 FM. Coming to you via the internet at ausopen.com. And in the palm of your hand with the official Australian Open smartphone app. Here's all the action from Centre Court.
It's Federer against Djokovic for the 50th time. Yes, 50 tour-level meetings. Of the previous 49, Djokovic has won 26, Federer has won 23. But seldom has this one been anticipated with as much trepidation as anticipation. I'm Chris Bowers. Alongside me is Kate Kearns. At least for the initial stages, we're expecting Bojana Babusic, but she's out on a wheelchair match, which they are great to watch, those wheelchair matches. So she will be along in 15 minutes or so from now. But what do you make of this one? Everybody seems terribly frightened that Federer just will not be able to run enough to be competitive.
People were terribly frightened that he wouldn't be turning up tonight, Chris. So I think at least they're going to see their men on court this evening. There was we were calling the women's final, the semi-final this afternoon. It was a brilliant match. So many of the emails coming through. How is Federer? Will he be playing tonight? Do we think he can make it through? But he is turning up, and we're very much looking forward to this evening. However, I think that Djokovic will win in 3. I think this is going to be over pretty quickly.
Yep.
I'm concerned about the injury.
I am too. I'm told that he practiced with a strapping on his right upper thigh earlier today. But again, although I rely on the source, I was told it was very much a closed practice session. And just seen on our little screen, Federer walking along in the tunnel underneath Rod Laver Arena and Margaret Court Arena. Didn't have any strapping on, seemed to be walking fine, but I think he's conscious of the fact that until he gets out there, he has to look as if he's completely fine. I don't think he'll be bothered by the heat. Temperature dropping a little bit, although still in the mid-30s. And, the only question is, can he push off?
Yeah, and we'll know, I think, within the first couple of games just what sort of condition he's in out there. And I'm guessing that Novak will be doing his best to push him everywhere around the court.
Federer has never retired from a match, so we assume that by taking to the court, he imagines he can get through. I mean, it's the first time for everything. He could, retire if necessary. I mean, you know a fair bit about the human body from all your marathon running. When you have a groin strain, it's obviously an upper right thigh strain, is that the kind of injury that you can make worse if you, and that what could be, a week's recovery suddenly becomes 6 weeks recovery?
Yeah, I mean, you can, which is, I'm guessing, he's got the best advice possible, so they must.
We don't know exactly. We should say we don't know exactly what the injury
is.
So we're trying
I'm
to
assuming
diagnose
that they're thinking that for him to be turning up tonight and to be playing, that that they're not concerned that he can do any further damage. I mean, you don't risk it. Not this late into his career. Like, what's the point? He's got nothing to prove out here. So he must feel that he can come out and compete tonight. And aren't we lucky that that's the case?
Yes, absolutely. They've had the roof closed for the light show that they always have before the night session, but the roof is now open. It's been open all day, actually. We did get up to 4.9 on the heat, humidity, wind, sun strength scale, whatever they call the index that's used. And but it never quite closed the roof.
Yeah, it never got there, did it?
They did. I speculated in commentary this afternoon. Maybe they closed the they have a lower threshold for juniors and wheelchairs, and they do, because some of the quadriplegic players, they have a totally different, because of their quadriplegic injuries, they don't sweat the same way that able-bodied people do. Yep. And therefore they have to have a much
lower threshold,
threshold, you know, before they close the roof or whatever. Just a reminder, if you were hoping to hear our Australian Open quiz at 6:30 today, because the women's semi-finals went late, they only beat us by about 2 or 3 minutes, but because Simona Halep and Garbine Muguruza finished after 6:30, we've put that off till tomorrow. So unless the women's doubles is a marathon, which it might be, it starts at 4 o'clock tomorrow, then we'll be doing the quiz at 6:30.
Question for you, Chris.
Go on then.
Do you have a cape?
Do I have a cape?
Yeah, you are the quiz master.
I am.
And it deserves a cape, I believe. And I was just...
Is that right?
Yes, and I think that our listeners, they're keen to know that something's coming tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening.
Do I have to have a mask as well?
Not a... Sure, if you would like to wear a
no,
mask.
I don't think you want a
but
cape.
Maybe a hat of some description.
A hat, okay. Are you turning me into something from Harry Potter or something?
I'm turning you into something from Harry Potter, yes, that's correct.
Right, well, we can see on our monitor, they've opened the door to the men's locker room. Marian Vida, coach to Novak Djokovic, and Ulysses Badio there. Goran Ivanisevic comes into view. Djokovic is there as well. I saw him when I came down to the commentary box. He was just wandering into the gym, just a little bit of warming up on the machines. I suspect they do cardio rather than weights at that stage.
Oh, there's no picking up of weights at all. They have to be all just rolling those legs over, just not wanting to come out, you know, cold onto court, of course.
Novak Djokovic just bouncing around in there, running up and down, just getting himself loose.
Well, we've spoken about Roger. You know, obviously everyone's concerned around how injured he is coming into this match and how he'll play this evening. What about Djokovic? He has been superb throughout the tournament.
But he had more wrong with him on Tuesday than he was admitting.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just tell you what we know, and that is that, you know, he requested this sudden injury timeout at 4-all because he said he couldn't see anything. He's got a problem with his contact lenses. They took his, they passed down a new pair of contact lenses from his bench. Ball kid ran across the court, and he said, I need to go off to put these in. He spent a long time off court. And then when he was right in front of our commentary position, he looked up towards his people and he said, he mouthed the word stomach and pointed to his stomach. So in the press conference, I went into his press conference and I said, you know, we know that you had a problem with your eyes. Did you also have a problem with your stomach? Because we saw you look up, point to your stomach and mouth the word stomach. And he said, yes, I had several problems. Obviously, it was irregular that I did the contact lens change at 4-all, but I really couldn't see anything. I've apologized to Milos, I apologized to the crowd, and by the end, I could see a lot better. So in other words, he didn't want to talk about anything else, but he admitted that there was more than just the eyes.
There was something happening, yeah, okay.
So without, you know, this is not conspiracy theories, this is just using the information we have. And the two players are in the corridor, and they'll be walking down the corridor of champions any second now. So now it's possible that he had a stomach upset or something, and therefore it's the kind of thing that, you know, is through him in 12 hours.
Well, that's true, but it could be something that you work through out there on court as well, and he could have come off court not really concerned, but we're not to know, so we might find out a little more this evening, particularly if this match goes the distance.
And they're making a good point on the Twilight Show, Bridget, Craig and Richard, that, you know, one of them may be sort of thinking, I'm going to just carry on a bit here, I'm not feeling great, but he may be feeling worse than me. And in a way, that's a lesson about tennis. Carry on until the end, keep going, because you never know how close to pulling out your opponent is.
That's right, you've just got to hang in there, don't you? And you never know when things can turn for you, for the better.
Well, Djokovic is wearing his green tracksuit top with KB for Kobe Bryant on it. And here's Brett Phillips, the stadium announcer. First time he's come on first at this Australian Open, because it's the first time he played a player ranked higher than him. He has the choice of seats. He's chosen the one nearer to the exit. Well, a big roll for both of them. And Federer is not visibly wearing any strapping. It may have a strapping that we can't see under his shorts.
Quite possibly. And as you mentioned before, did you say hit up though with strapping on this afternoon?
I'm told
that's okay.
but I didn't see it.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
It's
and that might be third-hand information, don't know. Current temperature is 37 Celsius, which if you're in Fahrenheit is 99. And it's supposed to be clear skies all night. Sun just setting. Floodlights are on, but that's only because the sun has gone down to a certain height. When we look forward out of our commentary box up to the very distinctive white frame on the top of the Rod Laver Arena.
I just wonder how hot that court still is, Chris. It's been baking all afternoon.
I think Federer will enjoy it. I think Federer likes this kind of temperature. It's night, but it's fast. Ball flies through the air. Federer's at the net now. And shakes hands with the umpire, shakes hands with the young lad who will
Novak,
make the coin toss.
Connor's going to help us with the coin toss, your biggest fan. Gentlemen, as always, just few reminders. 4-minute warm-up. We have this warm-up clock. 60 seconds to start the match afterwards. And if you want to challenge, as always, please make sure you let me know immediately and make it clear. 25 seconds between the points on the serve clocks. Do you have any questions? And we take a picture with Connor that way after the coin toss. Questions? Okay, Connor, all to you. Who you want to ask? Novak. Yvonne is for you, Roger. And it is Yvonne, Roger's choice. Serve. Okay, picture please, that way, you turn around.
And so he has his picture, and both players smiling, and both players say good match to each other. They often do that. Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Murray, they all say, you know, good match at the end of the calling toss.
Wish each other well.
Yeah. Well, we did doubt it at one stage, whether Roger Federer would be out, but he's out warming up at least. And we're not going to judge much from the warm-up because he's not going to do anything too dramatic, but he'll have hit earlier. And in a way, I like watching the warm-ups because you see players just hit the ball with such perfect technique.
With such ease.
And ease, exactly.
Of course, if you're listening to us anywhere around the world, we'd love to hear from you tonight. Your thoughts on this match, your thoughts on the matches this afternoon. We saw two terrific semi-finals.
Both the same score, and both players had set points. Both losers had set points in both sets.
Yeah, both big opportunities, but it's a very interesting women's final. And I was saying to Steve just before, Chris, you wouldn't have picked, not have picked that.
Sophia Kenin against Garbine Muguruza. And we've still got the possibility that a player who lost the first set of the tournament, 6-love, could end up winning the tournament.
You can connect with us here on AO Radio on the Oz Open website, ozopen.com/AO Radio. And go to the Ask the Booth form, fill it out, and we'll get back to you this evening, or email us on aoradio@tennis.com.au. Of course, when you do send in your messages, please, your name, where you're listening to us from, and temperature. And this time I actually do want to know the cooler temperatures out there, because that will just make us feel a little cooler here in Melbourne, I think. It's been a very, very warm day.
I was sitting just behind me in the radio room of the media centre here at Melbourne Park is a German journalist from Hamburg who said it's -5 in Hamburg this morning.
Okay, maybe not that cold. Oh, that is cool. Well, Kartik's actually listening to us. Not entirely sure. We're from the land of Kartik. Of course, if you don't put where you're listening to us from, I do make it up.
That's right. You're really big into your science fiction. Harry Potter is... No wonder you're trying to get me to wear a cape.
Wants to know what our take on the match was last night on Rafa's loss. Felt personally that Rafa played defensive on crucial points, not taking anything away from how well team played.
Well, I think team played really well.
Yeah.
I think the point about the match, for me, is that Nadal was making choices that I don't normally see him make, and that suggests to me that team's game plan got under Rafa's skin. And I think team did a lot of that. And if you think of what team was like, even a year and a half ago, here last year, he laboured to a 5-set win over Benoit Paire in the first round and then pulled out with an injury in the second round. He is so much better a hard court player than he was. And an awful lot of that goes down to Nicolas Massou, his coach, who he teamed up with in early March last year. So they haven't been going a full year.
Not that long, and made some pretty quick changes too. And
now, Massou's biggest claim to fame was that he won the Olympic gold medal. That was in 2004 in Athens in a 4-hour match, 5-setter. He beat Mardy Fish of America. And the remarkable thing about Masu is that he played here 8 times. 7 times he lost in the first round. The one time he didn't, he lost in the second round.
Oh,
so he had
not a great record.
A horrendous record. And here's his charge in the semi-finals, having beaten the world #1.
I just felt that Rafa was playing Rafa last night.
Yes, I suppose that's true. And he was getting an awful lot of topspin back.
Yeah.
And he doesn't normally get that because no one hits. I think someone worked out that Jack Sock's forehand has more topspin than Nadal's.
Oh, is that right?
But by and large, Nadal never gets to hit against a player like himself.
No.
And he did yesterday.
No, it was a terrific match, and we're hoping for something similar this evening. Not sure that we'll get it, but let's hope and just see what condition Federer is in this evening.
The umpire, Nico Helvet from Germany, says end of warm-up. Djokovic is using a bit of his minute between the end of warm-up and the start of the match to hit a couple more serves. He's wearing his green shirt, white shorts. He's either done green shirt, white shorts, or white shirt and green shorts.
The luck of the Irish.
The luck of the Irish, absolutely.
Emerald green, it looks lovely. Just quickly get to some emails before we start here this evening. Matt's listening to us from Zurich. Apparently it is 3 degrees and sunny, so that's not too bad.
That's nice, actually, in Zurich. Beautiful city.
Loves the show, but is rooting for Fed Express this evening.
Well, I think a lot of people in Zurich will be.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
It's probably illegal not to.
There's 2 Swiss journalists out here. Heinz Gunther, former player, and his fellow commentator on Swiss television. They were looking around. I said, have you lost your player? And they said, yes. They were looking for Roger and they couldn't find him about an hour before the match started. Listen to the roar. Federer at the baseline. Wearing a black shirt. His, I call them ecclesiastical purple shorts. Djokovic hits a return deep to the Federer backhand. Federer nets. Right, Kate, we're going to have you on thigh watch.
Oh, what? That's terrible. Fancy doing that to me.
As Federer serves out wide into the net. The push off from the serve is more from the left foot than the right. And he serves down the middle, forehand return. Backhand Federer down to the backhand of Djokovic. Forehand Federer is long. 2 errors from Federer.
Yeah, it's going to be about what sort of pressure he can put through on that leg.
Federer is in an unusual position. I think he's happy with being semi-finalist here. And he serves an ace out wide. I think he's genuinely, to have got to this far in the tournament. He didn't expect to get this far. I think he'll take it. Once he's out there, he's competitive. 15-30, he serves down the centre.
Might be the type of injury too, Chris, that if he can just get through the first couple of games when he's really warmed up, may not feel it.
He serves down the centre, forehand return, forehand Federer to the forehand of Djokovic. Federer goes back to the Djokovic forehand, up the line from Djokovic. Federer slices, Djokovic waits for this one. Federer hits an aggressive backhand to the backhand of Djokovic. Forehand Federer into out, backhand Djokovic. Forehand Federer up the forehand wing, Djokovic cross court. Federer moves to his forehand down the line, backhand from Djokovic at full stretch. Federer runs around his backhand, puts his forehand into the net. Djokovic just soaking up everything. And he's been doing that all fortnight. In fact, he's been doing that for the last 10 years.
I was about to say, yeah, that's his game.
And sitting just to the left of Roger Federer in the crowd, the man he beat